Zamfara State Governor Bello Muhammad Matawalle arrives from China after successful investment and security meeting. Osinbajo arrives Kano to commission flyover bridges and other projects. President Buhari signs financial bill into law. On business, Dangote target $30 billion in revenue, louds federal government on agricultural revolution. And on the international scene, Queen, Prince Harry and senior UK royals set for crisis meeting as tension strain. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I'm Samira Ibrahim. Now on the news in full. The Zamfara State Governor, Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawalle and his wife, Haji Aisha, arrived to Nigeria from China, where issues relating to security, investment in technology, and solid minerals resources in Zamfara State were discussed. Part of what the governor was able to achieve is securing the Chinese investors to agree to invest in the state in various economic activities of the state of mining, agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and power generation. This is coming as a fallout of a meeting held between the state governor Dr. Bello Muhammad Matawalle Maradon and the potential investors in Beijing. The meeting held on the 24th September 2019 discussed the opportunities and provisions of incentives for the investors in return for their capital and technological investment in the state. Governor Bello Matawalle assured them of value-added incentives apart from the ones provided by the Nigerian government to foreign investors, especially in the area of security, provision of free land and tax cut. The conglomerate, who promised to seize the golden opportunity offered to them, said they will invest in especially agriculture, mining, tourism, manufacturing and in power generation. In attendance at the climax meeting to support the governor included the Zamfara State First Lady, Her Excellency Haji Aisha Bello Matawalle Maradon, the Head of Service Alhaji Kabiru Balarabi Sadaunan Dan Isa, the Commissioner of Environment and Solid Minerals, Dr. Noura Isa Gusau, the Governor's Special Assistant on Special Assignment, Alhaji Bashir Hadija, and the Deputy Ambassador of Nigerian Embassy in China. Governor Matawalle, his wife, and entourage arrived to Nigeria on Monday from a successful tour in China. Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has informed critics that he will forgive them for criticizing his administration. El-Rufai was responding to a Twitter user who slammed him for not responding to a question raised by Aisha Yesufu, a rights activist. Aisha Yesufu has quoted a 2014 tweet by El-Rufai commenting on the use of presidential jet. She tweeted, "Who is now breaking the implication of Buhari's 8.5 billion naira 2020 budget to maintain presidential fleet?" Her post was in reference to the use of a presidential jet by Hanan, daughter of Muhammad Buhari. In his initial response, El-Rufai said he does not respond to people that don't vote in Kaduna State, adding that he is focused on governing the state rather than exchanging words with people looking for cheap publicity. The Kaduna State Governor then said he will ignore and also forgive them. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday signed the country's financial bill into law. In a post on Twitter, Buhari said, "I am pleased to announce that this morning I signed into law the Financial Bill 2019. This is the first time since the return of democracy in 1999 that a federal budget is being accompanied by the passage of a financial bill, especially designed to support its implementation and to create a truly enabling environment for business and investment by the private sector." The President thanked the leadership and members of the National Assembly for the hard work and support that have gone into the passage of the landmark Deep Offshore and Inland Basin PSC Amendment Bill, and the Finance Bill, both vital to the successful implementation of the 2020 budget. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo disembarks from the aircraft at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport on January 13, 2020. Mr. Yemi Osinbajo on Monday in Kano State, northwest Nigeria, on a one-day official visit to commission some major infrastructure projects. The Vice President, who arrived at the BIP wing of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, was received by the State Governor, Abdullahi Kanduje, his deputy, Nasiru Gawuna, and senior government officials. He will use the occasion of the visit to commission the Al-Hassan Dantata Bridge in Sabon Gari and Tijjani Hashim flyover in Kofar Ruwa areas of the state. He will also perform the foundation laying ceremony and inspection of some projects embarked upon by the state government. The civil society groups for the defense of human rights, justice and equity has called on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) to investigate Alhaji Sani Dauda, popularly known as ASD, alongside Senator Shehu Sani for attempting to bribe the EFCC acting chairman Ibrahim Magu. The group posited that both individuals must be investigated following the confession by ASD on his part in the act. The CSO also frowned at the commission for arresting and detaining only Sani while ASD works freely. The EFCC had earlier arrested Shehu Sani for allegedly obtaining $25,000 from ASD to bribe Magu in order to protect him from an investigation by the agency. The EFCC also searched Sani's mobile phone and invaded his residence in search of incriminating evidence to be used against him. Sahara reporters had exclusively reported that the commission arrested the former senator before seeking out his accuser to prove his innocence. Condemning the bias of the EFCC, spokesperson for the rights group Adamu Matazu, while addressing journalists on Sunday, urged the EFCC to investigate ASD for willingly attempting to compromise an ongoing investigation and pending judicial cases. Mr. Matazu said, as civil society groups, they will not fold their arms and watch the secretion of the temple of justice by some unscrupulous elements with connection in higher places. The Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, said it has shortlisted 162,399 applicants for its aptitude test. Among the 828,333 that applied for the various positions in April 2019, the service began recruitment for 3,200 officers and men, but a statement by the PRO, Deputy Controller Joseph Atta on Monday, said the recruitment process was challenged by attempts of internet fraudsters to hack and discredit it. The Controller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, retired, has expressed dismay over the criminal activities of these elements and gave assurances of his determination to preside over a recruitment process that will be credible, transparent, and smooth from the beginning to the end. The customs boss said the shortlisted candidates have been notified through their email addresses and telephone numbers. Subsequently, all those notified will do their aptitude tests at a date and center indicated in their respective notification slips. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has explained that technical reasons and stakeholders' concern compelled the suspension of the use of the National Identification Number as a requirement for the 2020 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination and Direct Entry registrations. The UTME and DE registrations were scheduled to begin on Monday, January 13th and end on February 17, 2020. Announcing this at a press conference in Abuja on Sunday, JAMB Registrar Professor Isaac Oloyede noted that technical issues with regard to the system of registration at the National Identification Management Commission was one of the major reasons for the suspension. He cited difficulties being faced by candidates in the NIN registration adding that the NIN requirement as a precondition for the UTME and the DE registrations had been set aside for this year's registrations. Mr. Oloyede said the NIN will, however, be a necessary requirement in the 2021 UTME and direct entry registrations. He said plans are underway for the provision of a more advanced system that will be more efficient for the exercise. The registrar stated that a decision was taken and decided that they will suspend the use of NIN as a prerequisite for the 2020 UTME and direct entry registrations until 2021. By then, all candidates will have been given 1 year notice to register, and the move will not affect the permanent and ad hoc staff who will participate in the exercise, as they will require the NIN for verification. The registrar disclosed that the board and the NIMC will continue to share intelligence reports as well as other plans for the smooth conduct of the exercise in the future. He stated that the NIN as a requisite for the exercise was to tackle identity fraud during the examinations. Also speaking, the Director General of NIMC, Mr. Aliyu Aziz, said that the move was necessary as the Commission was overwhelmed with exercise within the short time given. He said that NIMC had only 1,000 centers around the country for the exercise and will need up to 4,000 centers. He stated that the partnership with JAM will continue while advising parents and candidates for the 2021 exercise to use the opportunity to acquire the number within the stipulated time to avoid last-minute rushes. Mr. Aziz also said that by 2021, NIMC registration will be available at JAM computer-based test centers nationwide with operators on the ground to capture candidates. A correspondent had reported the difficulties faced by candidates in NIN registration, including alleged extortion of candidates by NIMC officials. The JAM spokesman, Dr. Benjamin Fabian, had alleged that examination malpractices syndicates were behind the hitches at the NIN registration. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Fellow Nigerians, do you know that constituency projects are actually your projects? Do you know that constituency projects are funded by the federal government? Do you know that you can track release of constituency project funds for projects located in your constituency and follow up to know how they have been executed? Constituency projects happen because government does not want to leave any community out in development efforts. You have a responsibility to know what constituency project has been planned for your community, how much has been allocated for it, and whether value for money has been delivered. Take ownership of constituency projects located in your community. Protect them because they belong to you. Government knows about your needs and is planning for you. Government needs your help to ensure quality delivery. Know that constituency projects are actually your projects. Protect your constituency project. My constituency, my project.
For information on funds allocated to projects in your constituency, call 0800 2255 4272.
This message is from the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission and the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. On the business, Fozia has more details.
Thank you, Samira. Welcome to Business News. President of Dangote Group's Aliko Dangote has projected a turnover of $30 billion for his businesses in the next 2 years. He said through the company's annual turnover is about $4 billion now, but with the completion and running of the refinery, fertilizer, petrochemicals and other businesses, the company's turnover should be in the region of $30 billion in the next 2 years. Speaking with select media last week, Dangote has lauded the federal government's effort in the agricultural sector. He said the government's serious focus on the sector will boost the GDP and also mean less reliance on the oil sector for growth and development. He noted that the country has massive arable land and water as well as right climate, pointing out that the population growth does not really make him nervous. The president of Dangote Group said the government is doing very well by focusing more on the agricultural sector. He also praised the government's drive in getting more revenue from taxes, noting that the restructuring of the nation's tax system will generate more revenue for the government. According to him, 60% of the government's revenue is coming from oil, but the government is doing quite a lot to diversify the economy by even trying to restructure the tax system. He stressed the need to make more money from taxes because as it is now, the tax generation in Nigeria is a bit low, but the government is on the right track with those innovations. While expressing optimism that Nigeria will be certified a polio-free nation by April, he lauded the collaboration between Aliko Dangote Foundation and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on polio eradication in the country. He said they have done quite a lot and progress has been very tremendous in the last 3 years. He explained that no wild virus of polio was reported in the country, and by April, Nigeria will be certified to be a polio-free country, which means the entire African continent will be polio-free. It will be recalled that Dangote was recently said to be 4.3 billion naira richer in 2019 with his business investment in cement, flour and sugar. According to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index, the 62-year-old businessman ended the year with a net worth of almost $15 billion, making him the 96th wealthiest man in the world at the end of 2019. Dangote holds significant stakes in Dangote Cement, Dangote Sugar, Nascon Allied Industries, and Dangote Flour Mills, among many others. Dangote operated his own business selling cement at 21 and began cement manufacturing in the 1990s. He has a crude oil refinery currently valued at $12 billion oil refinery under construction. The refinery, which would be single largest in the world upon completion, has the capacity to meet more than Nigeria's entire fuel consumption. That's all for business news. Back to Samira.
Thank you, Fauzia. And on the spot, Abu Sufyan has more details.
My name is Abu Sufyan Abakar, and as usual, I bring the sports updates. Spanish giant Real Madrid defeated City rivals Atletico Madrid in the Super Cup España to win the trophy for the second time in 4 years. Both teams couldn't break the deadlock for the whole 90 minutes plus 30 minutes extra time, thanks to world-class performance from both keepers Thibaut Courtois and Jan Oblak. Real Madrid had Valverde sent off in the second half of extra time after bringing down Alvaro Morata, who was clear and almost certain to score before the tackle. During the penalty shootout, Saul Niguez and Thomas Partey both missed their respective penalties before Real Madrid's captain Sergio Ramos slot in his penalty to make the final penalty scoreline 4-1 in favour of the Galacticos. And here are the results of the major games played in Europe over the weekend. Manchester United defeated Norwich City 4-0 in the English Premier League. Rashford, Martial and Mason Greenwood were all on the score sheet, while Crystal Palace played a 1-1 draw with Arsenal. Aubameyang scored the opener before getting sent off minutes after Jordan Ayew's equalizer. Chelsea defeated Burnley 3-0 at home. Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur lost at home to Liverpool FC, thanks to Roberto Firmino's first-half opener to ensure that Liverpool continued their fine run of form. It's now on 12 consecutive victories for Liverpool in the English Premier League. Aston Villa lost at home 1-6 against Manchester City, with Sergio Kun Aguero scoring a hat-trick, now surpassing English legend Alan Shearer in terms of number of hat-tricks in the English Premier League. In Italian Serie A, Juventus defeated AS Roma at the Olympic Stadium, while Inter Milan played a 1-1 draw with Atalanta at the San Siro. Ibrahimovic's AC Milan defeated Cagliari 0-2 away, while Lazio defeated Napoli at home 1-0. And that's all we have on sports today.
Thank you, Sufyan. And on the international scene. Prince William said to say he's giving up trying to help his brother, who last week shocked the monarchy. He and the Duchess of Sussex want more freedom. Britain's Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge L, and Britain's Prince William, Duke of Cambridge 2L, US actress and fiancée of Britain's Prince Harry Meghan Markle 2R, and Britain's Prince Harry R stand together as they wait to see off Britain's Queen Elizabeth II after attending the royal family's traditional Christmas Day church service at St. Mary Magdalene Church in Sandringham, England on December 25th. The UK's Queen Elizabeth II will host a showdown meeting with her grandson, Harry, on Monday in an attempt to solve the crisis triggered by his bombshell announcement that he and the wife, Meghan, were stepping back from the royal front line. Other senior royals, including Harry's father, Prince Charles, and brother, Prince William, with whom he has strained relations, will join the monarch at the private Sandringham estate in eastern England, according to British media. Meghan will join the meeting via conference call from Canada as they attempt to work out the next steps towards a compromise and nip the growing crisis in the bud. On top of the technical issues, the meeting is said to be a tense family gathering, with tensions having apparently pushed some relationships to the brink. The week's Sunday Times reported that Prince William has spoken of his sadness at the broken relationship with his brother and voiced sorrow that they are now separate entities and that the royal family is no longer a team. That has been the news from Standard First Television. But before we go, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara State Governor Bello Matawalle arrives from China after successful investment and security meeting. President Buhari signs financial bill into law. Osinbajo arrives Kano to commission flyover bridge and other projects. On business, Dangote targets $30 billion in revenue, louds federal government on agricultural revolution. And on the international scene, Queen, Prince Harry and senior UK royals set for crisis meeting as tensions strain. That has been the news. I'm Samira Ibrahim. Keep watching Standard First Television News. Have a nice day.